Hi, welcome to the first session in our January 2024 Open Security Summit. This is going to be a cracking year for application security, and I think we're going to start with a bang with Kimberley, who's going to talk to us, which I couldn't agree more, that Security Champions is a force multiplier for security, and it's the thing to scale, and it's absolutely the thing to do. So over to you.
Thanks, Denise. Hi, everyone. Really looking forward to giving this talk and very happy to take questions, and I'll share resources as well at the end. But I'm going to talk about my point of view of security champions, and like I say, why I and Denise think they really are a force multiplier for security and why you really need to utilise them for your product teams. So I'll briefly cover what I'll go through in this talk. So I'll do a few intros about myself and where I work. I'll do a little 101 on security champions, just to make sure when I'm talking about security champions, we're talking about the same things, is what I think they are, what my definition would be. And then I'll share 3 key ways that you can support your security champions if you have that network. And this is actually going to be from an awareness and engagement perspective. That's the area I work in. And then I'll share some resources and, like I say, happy to take questions as well. So the obligatory, who am I? I'm Kimberley Graham, in security, awareness, and engagement at Sage. If you don't know Sage, it's a very large UK-based software and accounting organisation. We supply integrated accounting, payroll, and payment systems to small and medium-sized businesses globally. We're actually based where I am, also in the northeast of England, in Newcastle to be exact, and we've been here for over 40 years since being founded. I currently lead the security awareness and engagement team, which is part of the wider global security team here at Sage. I previously worked in security operations and in education as well, so we can bring all of those in security awareness and engagement, take a human and user-centric look at security. Currently, my role is very much focused on the human side of cybersecurity, really complementing other security teams. And we build out a strong security culture here at Sage, and really driving down human risk for the rest of the company through empowering and building confidence in our colleagues, mainly when it comes to cybersecurity. And a key part of that is our Security Champions Network. So I thought I'll sort of discuss a bit what is a security champion, just make sure, like I say, we're on the right page. We define them as security champions as evangelists for security. So they really are the fundamental ensuring that security and the marketability of services. So like I say, as a very large, great SaaS business, we have to ensure that security is embedded throughout our software development life cycles. So part of that is our Security Champions Network. They are primarily technical colleagues who sit in our teams. Actually, misconception, they're actually not security experts. They're actually just security enthusiasts. So mainly as developers, engineers, testers, really anyone who has a passion for security and want to make a difference. If you work in a product team, that's a place at Security Champion. We ask that they dedicate 10% of their time each week on related activities on the products and services that they work on. So that equates roughly to about 3.5 hours of an average working week, so quite a lot. But crucially for us, the volunteers, don't assign them this role, or no one's forced into being one. We just really encourage them and try and emphasise the benefits of the network to the whole team. But also, as I'll discuss in more detail later, we really want to ensure that we have manager support for the role. So a bit more about the activities and what we'd say a security champion is. A key point of contact for our application security team. And along with them, they perform security activities such as code reviews, triaging and remediating any vulnerabilities found. They can support with penetration tests or conduct threat, and lots of other general security activities that would usually be done by a security team. So where they're placed, they're really great at embedding security practices and standards into the product team that they're in. We very much as the bridge. I've got some graphics to show you, but the bridge between security and product, and really the security champions are the ones who make security happen. They don't also only have those activities, but also crucial part is learning. So they'll liaise with lots of the company to ensure relevant security upskilling. So they'll work with us to ensure their team has the relevant courses for training. So they'll recommend training that they think their team needs and make sure it's technology stack or even vulnerabilities that are in their products. That's why it's so key to have them in the product teams. And also a part of their role is keep themselves updated with latest security trends and tools as well. So they can see they're quite potentially lots and lots of activities. So you can understand why manager buy-in is so important, like I say, to make sure that they've got the time to carry out all those activities. So just to give you a bit of like a visual of why we feel that they are a force multiplier for the security team. You've got this, as most companies have a security team, if at all, and that's usually fairly small. And then that's why you then on the outside you have the security champions who work as a force multiplier for the security team. They're using their expertise and knowledge to identify and mitigate risks during the software development life cycle of the products, and that helps ensure that for the product teams we're delivering secure and reliable products for our customers. And to really drill home, here's some stats around the impact they have. So like I say, show you where they sit in the organisation. At Sage, we have a global security team of about 100 colleagues. And then we have a security champions network who work alongside them. There's roughly about 200 of those. And they in turn work across 200 so products and IT services, supporting our technical colleagues in those product teams who are then serving our 6 million customers across 20 countries. So really, like I say, a force multiplier. And they are a vital part of our security culture and strategy at Sage. They help us achieve our vision of delivering secure and reliable products to our customers. And like I say, they are the bridge. If I put a nice little graphic in there, would be nice. So the bridge between global security and products, and to help make security happen. So what I'm going to do is talk through 3 key ways from my own experience and from speaking to our Security Champions Network and ASEC, 3 key ways I feel make the biggest impact if you were to have a Champions Network yourself. And when I was speaking to people and noting down areas, the key areas that came out for this presentation, it made me think this is not that dissimilar to the well-known framework of people, processes and technology. You need all the things to work in harmony, kind of successful business operations or any kind of change management. But I'll dig deeper into each one with some ideas and advice as well and examples. So manager enablement is very, very important. If you were to ask any engineer, I'm sure most of them, if you were to ask them who has the biggest impact on their day-to-day work, do you think they would say their CEO or their manager? So the chances are probably, even though obviously we love our CEO, Steve Hare, but the managers really do have a huge impact on our engineering product teams. They're the ones who are building out the roadmaps and the sprints. So getting key buy-in from them really is crucial. So manager enablement is so important. So I'll go through how we find that helps. So like I say, tone from the top, so corporate support. So support really does come from tone at the top. So you want your CISO to understand what security champions the importance of it. You want them to be able to communicate across to the product officer or your product VPs. So ensuring that they all have value of having security champions, and then they can it along to their own product team managers. Is really emphasising the impact that they'll have on the product teams, which we'll go into in a moment. Because like I say, the champions are really the bridge between security and the product teams. Another key way of manager enablement is really community benefits for the manager having in their product. It's really crucial, good communication for anything really. There's lots of different ways, but you can emphasise that's going to be less pushbacks because of security vulnerabilities found, or explain how your product is going to be developed faster and more secure, because you're really embedding security into your software development lifecycle. And by doing that, and allows your engineers more time to do what they want to be doing, what you want them, building new features, being creative. Another way we've found that helps with manager enablement is creating a manager information pack. This really ensures that they're aware of the roles and responsibilities of a security champion. And so, like I say, they support them by scheduling in that 10% of time in the sprints, making sure they've got time for security activities. We want to make this very clear and accessible to all the managers. And we've actually found that these manager packs is one of the most useful tools supporting the Secure Champions Network. Because as you can imagine, 3.5 hours a week is actually a big chunk of time. So we have to be clear, really emphasising the benefits to the managers. And we broke that into three components. So for the manager, the benefit for them, having the secure champion there, you see as an enabler. So you're giving the manager and their team the ability to be proactive in their approach with security rather than reactive. So by having the security champion embedded, these security issues are more likely to be caught earlier, which in turn then reduces costs and fixing these issues further along. To the manager, the actual benefit for the whole product team as well. Like I say, going back to that bridge, security champions in the bridge into the global security, and that really provides their product team with latest security advice and guidance, as well ensuring that behaviours are met across the team. And we also emphasise actually how invaluable they are to global security as a whole, because like going back to that previous graphic, global security only so big, the champions really provide a reach with really key knowledge and understanding of products that the security teams just would never have the resources to meet. So that's, you take anything away, that's a real good one to pursue. Another thing that would really support your Secure Champions Network is really integrating them into the software development lifestyle, so the secure software development lifestyle. Life cycle, I mean, sorry, not lifestyle. Because any organization obviously depends on its software to carry out its function and deliver value to its customers. And without secure and available products, the organization just doesn't have a business, does it? It will go out of business fast. So a key way of supporting that is for your security champions to really integrate security into the software development lifecycle. So this process ensures that security is integrated into every stage of the development lifecycle, from design all the way through to implementation, but also further in maintenance as well. So we hear a lot in security about pushing left, and then more recently, so pushing left, like bringing security in earlier into the ideation or design stage of your SDLC. Talking more now about pushing right or pushing everywhere with security. Like I say, so it's very important for products maintenance and fixing vulnerabilities of products when they're already out there. So security champion there really helps with that. We currently have numerous security programs at Sage to drive down our risk in products, and security champions really have been integral to this. Another key way of supporting, I'd say, is make sure that your product teams have access to relevant security upskilling, and that's part of a security champion role. It could be as simple as choosing courses to share with the team or recommending training. And it's really important that they ensure that the technology and vulnerability specific training is relevant. As you can imagine, no size fits all. There's no magic AppSec course to take to teach you to code securely. Different technology stacks, frameworks. So it's very important the security champion to make sure it's relevant, and they can work with your training providers if you have to. So use the likes of Secure Code Warrior, Pluralsight, Immersive Labs, and champions work really closely with that to ensure that training is engaging, but also very relevant to the vulnerabilities that they're seeing as well. Another key way is building a solid knowledge base, and this comes from the OWASP Open Source Champions Framework, which I'll share at the end. So sharing what works well, and we have a big push here about meeting people where they are, not trying to force people to engage in places they don't want to. So if your engineers are using places like Confluence or SharePoint, whether they're building and sharing their knowledge, work with them and help them support them to build up knowledge, so they can share resources and discuss any commonalities in their work. Like I say, the OWASP Security Champions Framework is great for that, and it really defines skills and tasks that security champions should have and perform, covering things like secure coding, design, operations, deployment, and it also gives you guidance on how to measure and improve your security maturity of a product team. So I think that's a good place to start to build out your knowledge base. Another key way of supporting security champions is engagement. So as you can imagine, that's the fun one for me, as I work in security engagement and awareness. So to support your security champions, through engagement and community building. So they're at work, but you want them to have fun and feel connected with each other and also the security team. So a good way of doing that is actually speaking to them and asking what they enjoy, what they want to learn more about. I imagine and we all feel like it can be quite hard sometimes to get engineering teams to interact, especially ones who work remotely across teams across the world and work in an asynchronous way as well. So I've listed there a few ways that we found that really help bring engagement in and support the teams. We have things like social events, which, like I say, can be in person or remote as well. And games nights or secure coding tournaments. We had a secure coding tournament over the Christmas period, called like Hack the Holidays, and that was using the platform Secure Code Warrior, and that was allowing our colleagues to also collaborate with their peers, and while they're actually learning secure coding skills, having a bit of fun as well, and getting a bit of recognition through our leaderboard and the ability to win prizes or swag. So secure coding tournaments always definitely going well. Another way we support engagement through other events as well. So we have sort of 2 core events at Sage for our security colleagues, and August as well. One would be Cybersecurity Week. So this is held during Cybersecurity Awareness Month in October, and the themed one was all about making cybersecurity human. And the security champions really played a key role in that, in organising and helping us, and putting on activities such as workshops. We had a security bingo with activities in there as well. Had an ongoing capture the flag, which is we also brought in some expert speakers and created an escape room. and the security champions really played an important role in that event, sharing ideas, but also sharing out the events with colleagues. So trying to get them involved in things like that is very, very useful. Another event we also have every year, which is the celebration of the security champions, is our Security Champions Conference, a yearly event in April. And that's a time to really celebrate their incredible work. It's also an opportunity, like I said, to bring together, build relationships, bond, some upskilling as well, but also sharing experiences. And again, that can be done in person or that can be done remotely online. Different companies to support and put on workshops. That's a great way of bringing engagement to the team. Another thing that works very well is recognition. We all like to hear if we're doing a good job. So colleague recognition really essential. And there are many ways to do this. How senior leaders can support, CISO emails or shout outs in all hands. We do this via we have internal communications, or we have an intranet as well, and we also have a monthly Security Champions newsletter where we can do a shout out to great work, and that supports our Security Champions Wall of Fame. So that's a place on our internal intranet where we do a monthly shout out to those Security Champions who really went above and beyond. Often AppCircle will know what's going on and who we need to give a shout out to. But as anyone does, everyone loves a bit of recognition and kudos and appreciation for their hard work.
Kim, can I ask a question?
Oh yeah.
On this, one of the areas that I feel sometimes that is a bit overlooked is that, all the stuff you talk about, you do need to put quite a lot of energy, right? To really get this going, right? Because it's almost like you won't just happen by itself. Like a lot of the stuff that you speak is, every single one of them is almost like you're trying to be proactive, you're trying to create momentum, you're trying to sort of generate that spark. And then when it's there, it kind of flies for a little bit. But I think without the energy, I think there's a lot of Security Champions program that, kind of died of a very slow death because it's kind of like they didn't put that energy in, they didn't have that central sort of energize the bunnies to drive it, isn't it?
Yes. Oh no, definitely. Like you say, it doesn't just happen, and it does take energy, it takes resources sometimes as well. I do feel like if you can demonstrate through things like metrics to the senior leaderships, that's why manager buying is so important, and senior buy-in, using things like the OWASP Security Champions framework is a real solid framework to go off. But yeah, also sharing things that work well, like I say, community building, sending out a newsletter, that takes a bit of time, but getting that engagement, I think, really does help.
I really like that manager pack because I could totally see the power of that. I think that's a really cool way. It'd be good if you could share some, right? But I think I like that idea of getting the local managers and also, I guess, celebrating with them, isn't it? So like making them also very involved, because ultimately they're the ones who need to free up the time, isn't it? If the management, and if I sometimes always say that if you don't control and put security in the roadmap and in the Kanban boards or in the sprints, then it won't happen. It can't just be a best effort. So again, having the managers understanding and also owning some of the risks and having ownership, or even for the success, is actually quite cool, isn't it?
It is, yes. So I guess actually, kudos back to the managers as well, and appreciation of, like you say, but also I think demonstrating to them, and they should hopefully see over time, the power of having a security champion in their team. Like I say, it allows them to be a bit more proactive, not so reactive. They won't be having AppSec come to them saying, we've done code reviews, we found this, if their team are doing it. And it really embeds security into their software development lifecycle. I feel like that's quite key. So really demonstrating the positives of what comes out of it, and also appreciating their time as well. And I guess being upfront with them, the manager pack is quite about empowering them, so they don't almost sign up for something that they don't understand. So I think, yeah, treating them as adults, empowering them, being clear and honest, time out of developers building features, but the balance, isn't there, with security, and hopefully by embedding it in this way, and the security champions sharing, like say, good practice, best standards with other team members, slowly should reduce vulnerabilities in your products.
Cool. Well, just a quick one. Your voice is cracking every now and then. I'm not sure if it's anything you can do at your end. If you...
Oh, right, sorry. I've closed everything down I can. I'll turn this, is that any better? I wonder what it could be. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'll let you know if it's breaking a little bit, so.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's all right.
If you want me to go back over anything, just
No,
say. I'm
it's
happy
good.
to.
It's good stuff. And I think, and then again, like, these are all really, really nicely practical things, right? I have to say, one thing that would be cool is to share sometimes examples, right? I think sometimes the challenge is when you start from scratch, right? And actually, there's a really cool question here from Syed. Syed, I'll make you a co-host. You can, if you can you ask the question yourself? Or you want me to ask the question? I just made you a co-host, so you should be able to see it. Or I can ask for you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Hey, Kimberley. Great presentation, some really good content. I was just wondering, have you gone down the path of establishing the tasks that the champions are doing form part of definition of done to counteract the pushbacks we get on managers or owners or lead developers? Is that an approach you take?
It's not one that I'm aware of personally, but I can see the value in it, to be honest. So possibly as part of security programs that are happening, that would be in there. But yeah, I'm not actually aware of that. I know it more, like, say, from the awareness and engagement side, where we're helping them build out being a security champion into their OKRs or their yearly goals, and enabling the managers. But I can imagine that does happen as well, actually.
Fantastic, yeah. I just
Have you experienced that?
Yeah, and I counteracted it by that approach by making sure it's part of definition of done. So it's an assigned part of their ways of working to carry out the tasks, automation tests, threat modeling, architecture reviews, these tasks that we assign to the champions and want to be done, per sprint.
Yes.
They struggle with that. So by having it form as part of definition of done, then it gives an approval and an emphasis on the work, and it involves them more in the team, so the team are more part of it because it's a team action definition of done.
Yeah. Sorry, I realise what you mean now. Yes, I think that is actually what happens here as well. And like you say, the assigning of the tasks, it makes it more visible. Yeah, they work with AppSec in the assigned activities, and we try and track them as well. I know we track them via Confluence, and we're building out a Security Champions app that will track kind of activities. But yeah, like you say, that kind of visibility actually to other parts of the team, so they can see what they're doing, and almost they can help as well, can't they? Or they can have a bit more visibility of what's going on and why it's so important.
Yeah, definitely. I think it helps build that team collaboration. Yeah. Thanks, Kimberley.
So one of the things that we have, one of our current plans is, and I love this concept, it's called security ambassadors. So the idea is that you start with the security champions, and they are kind of how you describe it. It's a very sort of almost volunteer based, but I think there's a lot of benefit in there. And there's, even in the past, I've hired people move to cybersecurity, right, from security champions, which is great. But the idea of the security ambassadors is to formalize that more, is to go in a way. In the past, what I've done was, even the definition of done, I try to get into the person's OKRs. And then we kind of went and say, actually, there's a moment where if we really are going to start putting in individuals OKRs, which is kind of is important, because if you think about it, if somebody's spending a lot of time with security and they're not going to be measured on it, you don't want somebody who actually done a great job but missed one of their objective key results, right? One of the OKRs. So the idea is to have a more formal, with HR, well-defined, almost career path bit, where we then formalize to say, yeah, this person can spend a day a week, can spend a day and a half a week, can spend this amount of time on security, properly recognized, almost like another level above the security champion, which becomes the security ambassador. But we're still implementing that. But I think that's the next level of when you actually, you know, recognize officially a lot of the official roles that these individuals have and the impact they have.
I think
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Sorry, Kim, I was just going to reply to Dennis's discussion there. What it helps us as well from a security point of view, it opens the door then for the security champions, if they're really security focused and minded, a path into security from development. So if you've got that ambassador there that's really promoting and bringing, you know, the best of the best champions through, I think it opens that transition for junior developers to say, hey, I'd rather be part of the sec team than the dev team, and I think that helps.
Oh, very much, yeah. I guess addressing both of those, we don't have security ambassadors as such, but security champions are very much an established part of the company, and it is in their OKRs as well. And it definitely is a path, can be a path to working in security. I can think of 5 security champions who have been testers, then become a security champion in their team, and then moved into either application security or operations. So like you say, it definitely showing an interest, you'll be upskilling, exposed to all this knowledge, and this is a clear path, isn't it, really, into security.
Yeah, and those are amazing success stories, right? Like, you know, I think those stories of somebody in a way getting a great acceleration in their career through security, it's, you know, it's pretty amazing. Because that's the other thing I found with security. Yeah, the other thing I found with security champions is that sometimes we can elevate, you know, people's career because suddenly they're involved in much more senior conversations, if you see what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Well, the dream really is almost to make the security team redundant, isn't it? You want your product teams to be so clued up and coding securely and all this that they're not needed, isn't it, really? So the real dream would be that the product teams are so upskilled and empowered and knowledge from the security champions via AppSec that's almost not needed. Definitely. Well, I just have a couple more slides, and then I can come back to the. I'll just finish. Yeah, no problem. So just to finish off the little part about engagement, like I say, a real key part as well is actually just asking your security champions what they want and what they enjoy, because like I said, imagine my idea of fun isn't necessarily their idea of fun. So I've joined multiple meetings across AppSec and security champions just to talk to them and find out what they want more of, whether it is more coding tournaments or bringing speakers in or social events, or are they wanting more psych, or even I think we discussed it just briefly, almost support in sharing resources and experiences as well. Some people want actually just help getting groups together so they can share commonalities. So I think that's quite important. And so this partly as well, the engagement. When I've talked previously about how much the security champions support global security and the product team, it's also important to know what they would like as well. So that's all part of the cycle, I'd say. So they're the key ways, but limited ways to support them. And they're the 3 core aspects that I've seen through our experience of having the Security Champions Network, and happy to discuss any other ideas people have as well. I thought just in conclusion, I'd say that to us, the Security Champions really are at the heart of security strategy at Sage, help us deliver secure and reliable products to our customers. And to recap there, like say, corporate sponsorship is very, very important. The manager support is very crucial. Like I say, there's those ways previously, the manager packs and communication. Like I say, they really have a real big impact on the engineers. Making sure the software development lifecycle has security integrated into it. Key part of the role, and I would say relevant training is very important to that as well, and that's where security champions can really excel. And then work together when they feel connected. People find out what they think's fun, try and make it all as engaging as possible. And I've shared there on the right some resources that I found helpful. So, like I said, the OWASP Security Champions Guide, and work that you can download and work through. The building security models, Google that. That's some really directive information there as well. And then some podcasts, which I've thought of really good discussions in this area. So CyberSafe's Behave podcast talks about behavioral sciences and cybersecurity, which I think is a key part of this actually, any kind of change management. And also Compromising Positions podcast as well. They really delve deep into DevOps and some champions as well. But yeah, thank you for your time, and like I say, happy to take any questions.
So my first question is, what do you think is going to be the impact and usage of the next generation bots, Gen AI bots, to facilitate and to help and to empower a lot of the security champions and sometimes even act like one?
Oh, so you mean, this just a very random thought, almost a security champion AI bot per team, possibly, or
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, generative AI, I think we've all got to embrace it and to try and get the most out of it, use it wherever we can. Yeah, we've talked a lot about things like feeding in our security standards into our own AI chatbot, that we would help with things like security awareness. But yeah, the first thing that comes to mind would be an AI security champion per product team almost, that could be supported by an actual human as well, but using it as a chatbot. Have you thought of anything like that?
Yeah, well, that's exactly kind of one of the areas
Okay.
I think there's a lot of potential. Like one of the things we did at the last summit was really cool, was for them to take a threat model and then say, now ask, run this as a game, right? Or ask questions about it, or, create an education plan. Or even if you think about it, like if you have, like you said, your security guidance, then you could take a security guidance, take the architecture of that application or team, and then be able to have a much more knowledgeable sort of conversation and guidance. It's still powered by a human. I think it's very important that the human is still in the mix, but it should allow us to scale a lot more that knowledge. Like you said, you want teams to be, scalable, and imagine a bot that also understands, what's going on, and also think about the other way around. Imagine when every product or every team has the bots. So for example, when we do security activities, we can actually ask questions to the bots, like, the threat modeling, what does the architecture look like? What's, how everything flows. So I think there's a huge amount of potential for the sort of next generation bots in this space.
Oh, there is, yeah, definitely in-house ones, yeah.
I was just going to say, I think it's a lot more scalable and speedy as well if we go down the AI, or artificial intelligence bot. But yeah, I do think it's the future. I've seen a lot of talks coming up from GitHub about using AI for security. So I think the push is there. So we should, try to incorporate it.
Yeah. But you still need the human element, and that's why the Security Champions Network is still fundamental. Yeah. The mistake is to use the Gen AI bot to replace the security champions. The power thing is to use AI and Gen AI and these bots to augment their capabilities, but also to improve the learning, the recruitment, even make it fun for them, right? And to have all sorts of more interesting things. But you still need that human element, which is the one that's provided by the Security Champions Network.
I think it's just the scalability that's the issue,
Yeah.
right? We can't afford, or we don't have the skill sets around to embed in every single team a sec champion.
Right.
And so, you know, that's where this, for me, that's why I see the scalability issue. So AI can definitely help.
And like you say, keeping the human element. So almost, I always go back to when we talk about co-pilot for coding, say like it's co-pilot, like we're the pilots, we're in charge. We use the AI as to support us.
Okay.
So like you say, we could feed in what we know is seen as good and expected standards or best practices. Like you say, then also ask questions of the architecture and the product teams as well. Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah, the co-pilot name I think is a really good one because it really
Mm-hmm.
implies that it is there with you flying the plane, right? But you're still
Yeah,
flying, and
yeah.
I really like this idea again. The security champions, you still need that human connection, that ownership, even to basically be the bridge with the rest of the team, because that's fundamentally what a security champion is, right? It's like it's again your force multiplier, allows you to
Mm-hmm.
do one activity at the central way, well, thought through, and then with a lot of quality, and then have that distributed throughout the organization.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, definitely. I'd love to see almost. We want the whole company really to be security champions in every aspect, whether it be customer service, legal, finance. You want, like I say, security embedded in what everyone does, and from an awareness point of view, secure
Yep.
practices embedded, don't we? And oh, sorry, my puppy's having a dream. Yeah, we want everyone to be championing security and acting and working in a secure manner. But really focusing on the technical colleagues to start with, I think is obviously a very good start. And like you say, a force multiplier for security.
Cool. Is this sorry? Is this the last slide, or you
It
had?
is, yeah. That was
Cool.
well, thank
Oh,
you. But I thought I'd
brilliant.
leave the
All right.
resources on the page if anyone wants to screen share them. But I'll happily share these slides afterwards as well.
Yeah, if you please share the slides, because then we put it on the site with the video
Yeah.
and with the other resources on security champions. So thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you on the sessions. Thank you.
Yes,
Many,
lovely. Thanks for
many
having
thanks,
me.
Kimberley.
Take care.
Thanks,
Thanks a lot.
guys. Bye.
Bye.